Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dona Mauli Haryanti from Group 6. Me and my partner want to explain about argument analysis. First, the meaning of the argumentative itself is a text or expression that explains and convinces the reader about the pros and cons. Then the definition of argument analysis is an activity that includes a number of activities such as parsing, differentiating, sorting arguments to be classified and regrouped according to certain criteria. Other than that, argumentative has a purpose. The purpose is the ultimate aim. Argumentative is always to convince or persuade a given group of audience to understand the other side of the argument, to support a new belief or idea that are true and proven. Next, there is three characteristics of arguments. First, all its a premise are true. The premise, the reason for accepting the conclusion, must be true or at least believable in order for the argument to be cogent. Second, it considers all relevant information. Good arguments also considers all information likely to be relevant. The consideration includes addressing counter-arguments and objections to both the premise and the conclusion, and to accept the conclusion the writer puts forth. Alright, the next material will be explained by my friend.
Next, I will explain the generic structure. Generic structure of an argumentative text. 1. It has a topic sentence. The topic of the sentence or main sentence must be in various paragraph. Like which, in an argumentative paragraph, the main sentence must exist. The main sentence is a sentence that is the main idea or main problem which will be explained in the text sentence. 2. It has supporting sentence. 4. Pros and supporting sentence. 4. Cons. Further, both of these are called arguments. 3. It has to use deductive or inductive reasoning, cause and effect, and argumentative by authority. And there are three elements in the text structure or generic structure of argumentative text, namely 1. Thesis statement or statement of position. The initial part of the text where we as writers clearly state our opinion or attitude toward the issue that we raise as the theme of the writing. 2. Contains argument, point and evidence that support our attitudes or opinion in the thesis statement. 3. Summing up the position, contains statements or conclusion about our attitudes or opinions on the issues we discussed. There is a difference between the analytical or exposition and the authoritative exposition at this final stage, where the analytical part is finally called recitation, or in Indonesia it is restatement, while the authoritative part in the end is called recommendation, which means recommendation or suggestion. and then I will explain the pro-argument. Pro-argument. Pro is an argument that agrees with an idea, a view of opinion relates to the topic being discussed. Pro is a form of reaction which is good, positive, or agreeable to all kinds of things. Pro or supporting arguments accompanied by fact, data, author, experience, and reference relate to the issue. An example from argument. First issue, DKI Jakarta Province regulates the use of school uniform as stipulated in the paragraph number 178 of 2014. One of them is the school uniform that is worn on Wednesday. The use of school uniforms aims to foster students' love for scouting. Moreover, school extracurricular activities must be held in school at every level of education, starting from elementary, junior high, and high school. The problem is whether all of the school students have entered the Boy Scouts. This argument pro. The government has determined scouting activities and compulsory self-development activities. One application is by using a scout uniform. The use of scout uniform at all levels of education aims to foster a scouting spirit in every student.
Next, I will tell about contra. Contra are arguments or opinions that contradict supporting opinions. In the section, the author presents the counter-argument accompanied by fact, data, author's experience, and related reference. Next example counter-argument. I disagree with you because it is possible that discord led to chaos. Or another example regarding the prohibition for middle school study to bring handphone to school. There are groups who are pro and contra. Well, those who argue that this will make it difficult for students to communicate at important times, especially in this day and age where there are handphones that have applications that can be used for learning.
Ya, selanjutnya akan saya jelaskan mengenai refutation atau kalimat sanggahan. Refutation paragraph is normally found only in argument essays and argument research paper. Jadi, kalimat sanggahan itu biasanya hanya ditemukan dalam esai argumen dan makalah penelitian argumen. Jadi, ketika siswa menulis esai argumentatif, mereka perlu mengakui poin valid dari argumen lawan. Jika tidak, penulis terdengar berpikiran sempit dan karenanya kurang efektif. Sanggahan ada di bagian badan esai. Paragraf sanggahan ini bisa jadi salah satu paragraf yang tumbuh pertama, tengah, ataupun akhir. Penempatan paragraf sanggahan bergantung pada organisasi logis esai, dan penulis perlu mengembangkan garis besar yang jelas untuk memutuskan di mana bagian sanggahan akan ditempatkan. Khas dari kalimat sanggahan adalah adanya kata-kata tetapi, akan tetapi, namun, dan sambung pertentangan yang lainnya. Contoh dari paragraf sanggahan itu, adalah, sebenarnya saya setuju dengan pilihan desain dan warna perabotan rumah ini, tetapi akan lebih baik jika semua dibicarakan terlebih dahulu dengan pemilik rumah, bukan asal ngambil keputusan. Berikut adalah contoh dari paragraf sanggahan. Namun perlu diketahui, penulis tidak ingin sisi lain dari argumen tersebut terdengar lebih baik daripada argumennya sendiri. Salah satu cara untuk menghindari hal ini adalah dengan menjawab dan membantah poin-poin yang dimiliki argumen lain. Kalimat sanggahan atau refutation itu digunakan untuk menyanggah atau bahkan menolak suatu ide atau gagasan. Nah, kalimat sanggahan diartikan sebagai kalimat yang digunakan untuk menolak suatu ide, gagasan, atau pendapat, akan tetapi disusun menggunakan kesan persetujuan. Jadi kayak misalnya menggunakan kalimat sebenarnya saya setuju, namun begitu. Nah, dengan begitu, penyusunan kalimat penolakan dengan kesan persetujuan ini ditunjukkan untuk menimbulkan kesan lebih sopan dan menghilangkan konotasi kasar dari penolakan. Istilahnya bahasa halusnya gitu. Sanggahan atau refutation ini tidak hanya berisi tentang penolakan atas ide yang disampaikan, akan tetapi juga disertai dengan argumentasi yang mendukung penolakan tersebut. Argumen atau alasan yang disertai ini juga dapat memungkinkan penolakan dapat diterima. Okay, the last is conclusion. A pro and contra is a situation which is very common. In this case, all people will have all kinds of from backgrounds which will vary. In this case, it is a form of mindset, education, to a form from a point of view which makes a reaction or approach to all kinds of things, which is where it will be different, so that the contra will balance things out. Okay, maybe just this from us. Thanks to your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.